Here's something you might not expect. More than 30% of seniors over 60 are experiencing romance in a way they never thought possible, some for the first time in decades. Imagine reconnecting with that feeling of butterflies in your stomach, the thrill of a meaningful conversation, or the warmth of a hand to hold after years of solitude. These relationships aren't just about companionship. They're about rediscovering yourself, embracing passion, and savoring every moment. Seniors today are rewriting the rules of love. Dating apps designed just for older adults, virtual hobby groups, even community adventures are creating ways for meaningful connections that weren't available in previous generations. And the best part? It's never too late to start your own story, to meet someone who truly sees and cherishes you. Before we dive deeper, here's a small but powerful step. Hit the hype button. Every click helps more seniors discover stories like these. Stories that remind us that love, laughter, and intimacy don't have an expiration date. Trust me, this one click could bring someone the courage to take that first step toward a connection they've been waiting for. Meet Elwood and Ruth, two seniors who, not long ago, thought their days of romance, excitement, and deep human connection were behind them. Elwood, a retired music teacher, had spent the last few years immersed in piano keys, old records, and quiet evenings at home. Ruth, a former librarian, had surrounded herself with books, crossword puzzles, and memories of a life she once shared with her late husband. Both had experienced loss, the kind that leaves a quiet ache in the chest and a hesitance to hope again. And yet life has a way of surprising us. One ordinary Tuesday, they found themselves at the same community gardening club. Elwood, a bit awkward with soil-stained gloves, accidentally knocked over Ruth's small pot of basil. Mortified, he apologized, expecting irritation. Instead, Ruth smiled, a small glint of humor in her eyes. That tiny, ordinary moment, the kind most people would forget, became their first spark of connection. For seniors, meeting someone new can be daunting. There's vulnerability in showing up after years of routine, a fear of rejection amplified by experiences of loss. But as Elwood and Ruth discovered, it's often the simple, sincere gestures, the shared laughter, the mutual patience, the curiosity about each other's stories, that create the deepest bonds. They learned that being seen doesn't always happen with grand declarations. It happens in moments of quiet understanding, in smiles exchanged over a misplanted flower, and in noticing someone's passion and effort. These early interactions aren't just about romance. They're about rediscovering joy, trust, and the courage to hope again. Seniors often underestimate the value of small acts of kindness, shared interests, and consistent presence. It's not the grand gestures that sustain a connection. It's the quiet, everyday moments that build emotional intimacy. For anyone over 60 hesitant to meet someone new, start small. Join a club, volunteer, or revisit a hobby you love. The goal isn't to force romance. It's to open the door to new connections, friendships, and moments where you feel genuinely appreciated. The more you put yourself in spaces that spark curiosity and joy, the more opportunities you create to be seen again. Have you ever felt nervous meeting someone new after 60? How did you take that first step? Share your story in the comments below. It could inspire someone else to embrace connection and rediscover joy in unexpected places. Tip 1. Redefining love in later life. Love after 60 looks different than it did in our youth. And that's a good thing. Gone are the days of rushing through relationships, chasing fleeting excitement, or worrying about appearances. Today, love is intentional, steady, and rooted in shared experiences. Seniors approach relationships with clarity. They know what they value, what they need, and what truly makes them happy. There's less drama, more laughter, and an appreciation for the quiet moments that truly matter. For many, this stage of life brings emotional freedom. There's a sense of relief in knowing you don't need to impress anyone, compete for attention, or fit into anyone else's timeline. You can simply enjoy being with someone who shares your pace, your passions, and your laughter. Love becomes about presence, listening closely, remembering small details, and creating shared rituals that make life richer. It's not about grand gestures but about feeling genuinely understood. Imagine Ruth teaching Elwood a new knitting stitch while he hums an old jazz tune, or Elwood carefully selecting a rose for Ruth while she tends her herb garden. These moments may seem ordinary, but for seniors, they are the foundation of deep emotional bonds. Every shared smile, gentle touch, or thoughtful gesture reinforces the sense of connection that is so deeply cherished at this stage of life. If you're seeking love or companionship after 60, focus on depth over speed. Seek out shared activities, hobbies, or interest groups, whether it's a cooking class, a community choir, or volunteering for causes you care about. Don't worry about instant sparks. Invest in small, meaningful interactions. Pay attention to how someone listens, how they make you feel, and how much joy you share in ordinary moments. That's where true connection lives. The beauty of love in later life is that it's savored, not rushed. You have the wisdom to recognize what brings joy, the courage to embrace connection on your own terms, and the freedom to create a bond built on trust, respect, and shared experience. But emotional closeness is only half the story. What about intimacy? Many seniors assume it fades with age, but the truth may surprise you. What does love after 60 mean to you? Is it companionship, laughter, shared hobbies, or something more? Comment below. We want to hear your perspective, and your story could inspire someone else to rediscover love in their own life. Tip 2. Intimacy beyond the bedroom. Intimacy isn't just about the bedroom. For seniors, it has a depth and richness that younger generations rarely experience. Emotional intimacy is about trust, the ability to share your fears, dreams, and regrets without judgment. Intellectual intimacy is about curiosity and conversation, exploring ideas together, laughing over memories, and finding new interests that spark joy. Tactile intimacy is the subtle art of touch, a hand on the shoulder, a warm hug, or a gentle brush of fingertips across the table. These are the gestures that speak volumes, often more than words ever could. Here's a secret seniors often discover. Vulnerability is your superpower. Years of experience, reflection, and emotional resilience allow you to communicate more honestly and deeply. You know what hurts, what comforts, and what makes you feel truly connected. You can share your life openly and expect to be seen and appreciated in return. That's why intimacy after 60 can feel richer, more meaningful, and profoundly satisfying. It's built on trust, mutual respect, and the courage to show your authentic self. If you want to strengthen intimacy today, start with small gestures. Send a handwritten note, ask a partner about their favorite memory, or invite them to join a new hobby. Make it a point to listen deeply without interrupting, to share openly without fear, and to laugh together at the little things. Intimacy is cultivated daily, not demanded suddenly. Every thoughtful action adds layers to your connection, creating a bond that is both resilient and deeply fulfilling. The beauty of senior intimacy is that it doesn't rely on physical prowess or fleeting attraction. It's about presence, attention, and the courage to be vulnerable. It's about feeling seen, heard, and appreciated for exactly who you are. For many seniors, these quiet, consistent gestures become the heartbeat of a lasting, meaningful relationship. Which type of intimacy matters most to you right now? Emotional, intellectual, or tactile? Comment below. We'd love to hear your perspective, and your insight could inspire someone else to deepen their own connections today. And while intimacy grows in these small, beautiful ways, there's another layer many seniors are rediscovering: their sexual connection. It's not about performance. It's about joy, exploration, and rediscovery. That's coming up next. Tip 3. Sex after 60, real talk. Let's talk about something many seniors hesitate to discuss: sex after 60. It's often surrounded by myths and misconceptions. Some assume desire fades entirely, or that intimacy must decline with age. The truth is far from it. While it's natural for libido and physical stamina to change, seniors are discovering that sexual connection can be more fulfilling than ever, because it's less about performance and more about trust, comfort, and emotional closeness. Health conditions, medications, and natural hormonal changes can create new challenges, but seniors are learning creative ways to maintain intimacy. That might mean exploring gentle physical touch, prioritizing prolonged foreplay, or finding new ways to express affection, through massage, cuddling, or playful flirtation. Many couples are rediscovering romance in everyday life, sharing a favorite dessert in bed, whispering jokes, or taking a slow, scenic walk hand in hand before evening intimacy. Here's a powerful insight. Intimacy isn't measured by frequency or intensity, it's measured by connection. Seniors who embrace sexual expression at this stage report feeling more confident, emotionally connected, and joyful. They've discovered that curiosity, experimentation, and humor are far more important than perfection. Whether it's trying a new activity together, exploring virtual travel experiences, or simply laughing over a shared memory in bed, it's the shared experience that fuels desire. If you're navigating sexual intimacy after 60, communicate openly with your partner. Share desires, boundaries, and ideas for keeping the spark alive. Explore new forms of touch, and don't be afraid to laugh or be playful. It can deepen emotional closeness and reduce pressure. Remember, creativity is your ally, and mutual respect is the foundation of pleasure at any age. Sex at this stage isn't about meeting expectations or comparing yourself to your younger years. It's about joy, curiosity, and connection. It's about moments that make you feel alive, valued, and deeply seen by someone you trust. Many seniors report that this phase brings a deeper sense of freedom and satisfaction than ever before. If you've discovered ways to maintain intimacy later in life, inspire others by sharing your experiences in the comments below. Your story could give courage to someone hesitant to explore connection again. Now that we've explored physical connection, there's another challenge seniors face: overcoming societal stigma and fear of judgment. How do you embrace love and intimacy openly after 60? That's coming up next. Tip 4. Overcoming fears and stigma. For many seniors, one of the greatest hurdles in pursuing new love is not loneliness, it's judgment. Society often overlooks romantic lives after 60, treating them as unimportant, awkward, or even inappropriate. Family members may express concern, peers may whisper doubts, and media rarely highlights the love stories of older adults. This cultural silence can make seniors hesitate, second-guess themselves, or even deny their own desires for companionship and intimacy. Elwood and Ruth faced this challenge firsthand. At their first community dance after meeting, a few whispers and raised eyebrows could have dampened their spirits. Instead, they chose a different path. They focused on their own joy. Hand in hand, they laughed, danced, and celebrated their connection without apology. Over time, those quiet whispers faded, replaced by curiosity and even admiration from friends who realized that age doesn't limit love. The truth is, embracing love after 60 requires courage. It means putting your happiness first, acknowledging your desires, and daring to enjoy life on your own terms. It's about breaking free from the invisible rules society sets and giving yourself permission to experience companionship, intimacy, and romance unapologetically. Seniors who embrace this mindset often discover not only love but also a renewed sense of confidence, joy, and purpose. If you feel hesitant about pursuing new relationships, start by challenging your own doubts. Identify any internalized stigma or fear. Questions like, "Am I too old?" or "Will people judge me?" and replace them with affirmations. "I deserve love," "My happiness matters," and "Connection has no age limit." Seek communities, social groups, or hobby clubs where love and friendship are encouraged, not criticized. Remember, confidence in your joy often inspires acceptance in others. Have you ever felt judged or misunderstood for seeking love after 60? How did you overcome it? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might empower someone else to embrace connection with courage. And the next tip might just change how you view companionship forever, revealing a perspective on relationships that many seniors overlook, but one that can transform your life completely. Tip 5. Building lasting connections. Building a lasting relationship after 60 isn't about grand gestures or cinematic romance. It's about creating a partnership that stands the test of time. Seniors understand something younger couples often overlook. A meaningful connection is built on trust, respect, shared routines, and a willingness to embrace life's adventures together. It's not just about having a partner, it's about cultivating a life team, someone who supports, inspires, and challenges you to grow every day. Elwood and Ruth found joy in the little routines that became pillars of their connection. Morning coffee together turned into planning their garden, while weekend virtual museum tours sparked laughter and conversation. Volunteering at a local charity brought them closer, reminding them of shared values and purpose. They explored new hobbies, sometimes failing hilariously together, but always celebrating the experience in each other. These shared adventures, no matter how small, became the glue that strengthened their bond. For seniors, companionship is less about romantic fantasy and more about alignment, finding someone whose rhythm, values, and curiosity match your own. When both partners are willing to explore, adapt, and invest in shared experiences, the relationship transforms into something deeper than attraction. It becomes a resilient, joyful partnership. Life becomes more vibrant, not just because of the activities themselves, but because they're experienced together. If you want to build a lasting connection today, focus on 3 things. 1. Mutual respect. Honor each other's opinions, preferences, and boundaries. 2. Shared routines. Create small daily or weekly rituals. Gardening, morning walks, or even coffee and conversation. 3. Embrace new adventures. Try something neither of you has done before. A cooking class, painting, or volunteering. New experiences create lasting memories and deepen bonds. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency and shared joy. The beauty of a life team is that it transforms the ordinary into extraordinary. Simple moments, laughing over spilled paint, exploring a new city virtually, tending a garden, become celebrations of connection, trust, and love that grows stronger with time. That's the secret to relationships after 60. Joy is built hand in hand, step by step, adventure by adventure. What's your favorite way to bond with your loved one? Let's inspire each other. Share your story in the comments and give someone else an idea for building a deeper connection today. And now, as we reflect on all these moments, we reach a turning point. The transformation every senior can experience when they embrace love, intimacy, and connection fully. That's coming up next. After months of small steps, shared experiences, and courageous vulnerability, Elwood and Ruth transformed. Not overnight, but steadily, beautifully, and authentically. They discovered that connection isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. Confidence replaced hesitation, laughter replaced doubt, and emotional fulfillment became part of their daily rhythm. Their story shows that love, intimacy, and joy are not reserved for youth. They are gifts we can cultivate at any age, as long as we take the first step. For many seniors, the most powerful transformation isn't just finding a partner, it's rediscovering themselves. Elwood began to embrace spontaneity, letting go of the fear of judgment and fully enjoying playful, light-hearted moments. Ruth found the courage to share her thoughts openly, trusting that her feelings mattered and her voice would be heard. Together, they created a relationship built on authenticity, curiosity, and mutual respect, a life team that lifts, inspires, and celebrates each other every day. Transformation after 60 isn't about chasing romance or recapturing youth. It's about embracing growth, curiosity, and shared joy. Seniors who pursue meaningful connections often report increased emotional resilience, stronger friendships, and a renewed sense of purpose. Every small step, sending a message, joining a club, trying a new hobby with someone, creates ripples that can reshape your social and emotional world. The key is action. You don't wait for the perfect moment, you create it. Start today by identifying one small step toward connection. Call a friend, write a note to someone you admire, or invite a neighbor to join a hobby or community activity. Celebrate each tiny victory, because each moment of engagement strengthens your emotional health, builds confidence, and opens the door to deeper connections. Remember, transformation doesn't require grand gestures. It thrives on consistent, intentional steps taken with openness and curiosity. The greatest gift seniors can give themselves is permission, permission to love, to laugh, to explore, and to be vulnerable again. Elwood and Ruth's journey reminds us that life after 60 can be just as rich, joyful, and fulfilling as any chapter before it. Sometimes even more so, because now it's guided by wisdom, experience, and intentionality. If this story resonated, hit like, comment your favorite tip, share it with a friend who could use a little inspiration, and don't forget to hype this video. Each hype helps more seniors discover that love, intimacy, and joy aren't limited by age. They're waiting for you to take the first step. And for those wondering what's next, stay tuned. Our next video explores how seniors are reinventing adventure, travel, and passion, proving that the world is never too big or too late to explore. As we wrap up today's journey, here's the reminder every senior needs. Life after 60 is not a closing chapter. It's a fresh canvas waiting for you to paint your own masterpiece. Love, intimacy, joy, and connection are not limited by age. They're waiting for the bold, the curious, and those willing to take the first step. Elwood and Ruth's story shows us that embracing vulnerability, sharing experiences, and nurturing relationships can transform not just your love life, but your entire outlook on life. And it doesn't stop there. Many seniors are discovering passions they never had time for before, learning new languages, revisiting art, taking up dance, or even starting small businesses. They're traveling to places they'd only dreamed about, sometimes solo, sometimes with new friends, rewriting what it means to live fully in later life. Age isn't a barrier. It's an advantage. With wisdom, perspective, and the courage to embrace adventure, seniors are exploring life in ways younger generations can only imagine. Take a moment today to consider one thing you've always wanted to do but thought was too late. Could it be a trip to a new city, joining a community class, or reconnecting with an old friend? Whatever it is, make a plan. Even a small step counts. Send that email, make that call, or set aside time to try something new. Each action is a declaration. Life is meant to be explored, experienced, and celebrated, no matter your age. Before you go, tell us in the comments, what's one adventure, passion, or connection you're going to pursue this week? Your idea could inspire dozens of seniors to take action, create joy, and embrace life fully. Remember, age isn't a limit. It's an invitation. Every day is a fresh chapter waiting to be written. You have the wisdom, experience, and courage to make it extraordinary. Love boldly, live intentionally, and cherish the connections that make life rich. And stay tuned. Next video, we'll explore how seniors are rediscovering travel, passion, and adventure, sometimes in ways younger generations could never imagine. From spontaneous trips to creative hobbies and heartwarming friendships, the world is waiting, and it's yours to explore. If today's video inspired you, hit like, share it with a friend who deserves joy, comment your favorite insight, and don't forget to hype this video. Every hype ensures more seniors discover that life after 60 can be thrilling, fulfilling, and truly limitless.